Hello, everyone. You're tuned into We Didn't Google That, hosted by Danny and Frankie. And yeah, this is a nude podcast.
It's a nude podcast. Sorry, that's
It's
what
no, it's a new podcast. Yeah. What are we? What are we doing, Frankie?
Today, for this episode, we're introducing the show. We didn't Google that, and we're gonna talk a little bit about career stuff.
Yes. So, yeah, this is the first episode, and this is our first podcast. I personally don't listen to podcasts as much as Frankie does, but I do listen to I do listen to podcasts. The best part about getting ready for this podcast was I didn't have to get ready at all. Like I do like doing my makeup and dressing up, but it was so easy. Like I just needed my mic, my laptop, and my pajamas, and I was done. You know what I mean?
And me. You needed me for this.
Yes, we needed each other.
Aww.
Oh.
Love being needed.
Yes. Oh. So it's we're still in lockdown here. How's your?
It's not exactly lockdown. It's like
It's kind of
we
a
need to be careful about the
Miss
terms
Corona is
and all
still
that.
a thing.
Here.
She's still a thing.
She's
Yeah.
still here.
Yeah. So how's your quarantining still going? It's the 100th day or so in the Philippines, I think.
We're past 100 at this point.
Oh, we are.
If I remember correctly. We might be at like 101 or 2.
All right. Well,
How
how's
am
it,
I?
Yeah, how is it feeling right now?
I'm recording in a closet. So that's how I'm doing. Yeah, I'm recording in a closet for the podcast. Speaking of the podcast, let's discuss the podcast. So, We Didn't Google That is going to be a mostly English podcast, but we will be code switching from time to time.
Why?
Because we are Filipinos, in case you didn't know. We are from the Philippines.
Born and raised, ma'am.
Yes. So in the Philippines, people sometimes speak in what we call Taglish. And we're gonna be sprinkling words here and there. It'll be enough for non-Filipinos to still be able to keep up. But we will be doing that. So yeah, there's that on code switching. We believe in fact-checking. But this podcast is called We Didn't Google That for a reason, and we are doing mostly opinion pieces here. We're just going to be speaking our minds, exercising our right to the freedom of speech and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? I was waiting for you to talk to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know what to say. But yeah, again, we do believe in fact-checking. It's just we thought it'd be interesting if maybe some other people shared the same opinions as we did.
Yeah, because I feel like there was a thing I read before somewhere, I can't remember where anymore, but they were talking about like people don't wonder as much as they used to anymore because we have Google. We can Google things.
And I mean, we're not defaming or promoting Google. Also, for legal
we are
reasons,
not affiliated with Google.
Yeah, we're not even sure if you can use the name Google. I mean, we're not even sure if you can use Google in the name of our podcast.
But I think right now we're small enough to get away with it. So
yeah, so here it is. If Google somehow contacts us like a lawyer, we can just change this podcast to We Didn't Look That Up.
We have backup.
Yeah.
But we do want our podcast to feel like a conversation between friends. So you, dear listener, are our friend. You need to believe that. So yeah,
you can talk out loud. Like we won't judge you. No one will.
No one will judge
you. Or like the people around you will probably, but we won't.
We won't. So on the We Didn't Google That podcast, we're thinking of talking about things like
we're starting mostly, with things that we've experienced firsthand, but also, things that are relatable. I think that's one of the most important things
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
consider when we think of a topic, because you're in on it. Like, we don't want you to be listening and thinking, like, oh, I can't find myself in that.
I have no idea what these people are
Yeah,
saying.
exactly. And like, you don't know who we are. So it doesn't make sense for you to be listening if
If you can't relate to the
yeah.
topic. So, some of the things we're going to be talking about in the near future are things like gender and sexuality, productivity and anti productivity,
Mhm.
uh, our favorite bad movies. We're going to be talking about bad movies
Yes, we
very soon. I'm
are.
excited for
The
that.
best bad movies.
Yeah, there's criteria.
Uh-huh,
There
uh-huh.
are things that make bad movies good.
Yes.
We'll talk about that. And the creative life, I think we'll be talking a little bit about that because we are both creatives. Oh, and we're also going to be talking about senior high school in the Philippines because we are one of the last few countries to do the whole senior high thing, and it was kind of a shit show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The 11th and 12th
Yeah, we
grade
gotta talk
added to
about
the
that.
yeah.
Yeah, so stay with us, please.
Please. um yeah, I think it's a thing. I know like a handful of people who are interested in doing podcasts now, especially in a time like this. It's a
It's a
little
pretty accessible thing to do, I think,
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
some people.
It's not exactly cost free, but for
Yeah.
people starting out like us, like it's pretty cost free.
When you're
Okay,
lucky.
so yeah, if
Yeah.
so, why are we doing this? Um, it wasn't like, okay, so we're doing this because we already had plans prior to this specific
We have
podcast.
so many plans.
Yeah, we call it the idea graveyard. More of that later. So we belong to a group of friends, and we already talked about having a podcast between like 8 people, and it does sound very chaotic. But Frankie and I were having this conversation, and then I was saying, "Wait, hold on. This is like podcast material.
It's
It's
good
not.
shit.
Yeah, the things we talk about aren't. I mean, they can be private things, but they're also things that other people that we know other people can, tune into and relate
Yeah,
to,
it's stuff
and
that is important to talk about, I think,
uh huh, uh huh.
sometimes. And stuff
Yeah,
that's
with
fun to
with the
talk
right
about.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just felt like we're withholding this information that could be useful to other people, and this is our way of disseminating. Did I use that word right? This is our
I'm sure
word.
you
This
used
is
it
our
right.
way of
This is.
yeah, but this is our way of spreading the information that we've gathered together as friends. But also, we didn't completely fact check it. As again, we're for fact checking, but this is a very opinion based podcast.
Yeah, it's mostly a conversation. You know.
Uh huh. So the thing the thing between Frankie and I, our conversations, we relate on polarities of you know a concept or a thing or the things we've experienced, because although we're very alike in different ways, we're also almost polar opposites.
Yeah, in
But we
some
find
sense of the
yeah,
word.
but we find a way to kind of like bridge those opposites together.
Yeah, and it
And
kind of paints like this wider image of the topic because you have the view of the one end and then
yeah,
the view of the other end.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Again, this kind of sounds like we're claiming to be like these great
Sages.
people who just basically fix problems, social problems or anything. It's not like that,
Nah.
but
We just like talking
it's
about
something.
things.
Yeah, we just like talking about things, and maybe you guys, the listeners, would find it interesting. And since we're gonna be posting this on platforms where you
Interactive
can comment,
platforms,
yeah,
yeah.
interactive platforms. Thank you. You can share with us your thoughts. Like, maybe you disagree or agree, and we really
Or maybe there's
encourage.
something that we didn't think about that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah,
to point
yeah.
out.
yeah, we're encouraging you to reach out if we do get any listeners because yeah, we're just a couple of friends who like to talk about things.
About world
That's pretty
views and
much
stuff.
yeah, that's pretty much what it is.